What is going on, good people? What is going on, good people? I'm here with my man Rashad. Before we go anywhere, we got to talk about prospects. This video is brought to you by Prospect. Now,
Prize Picks.
Prospects. If you didn't know, Prospect is the simplest fantasy sports game on the market, and it's fairly simple and easy to win. You see, I got it up on my phone right now, man. I've been playing heavily for the past 2 weeks, and I've been winning a lot of matchups. So with this, you can pick 2 to 5 players, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. Prize Picks is the slick and easy to it's slick and easy to use, y'all. It's easy. All you gotta do, literally. Let me just show you what you can do. Literally, we on NBA. I'm just picking 5 players. I'm just about to pick 5 players. One, oh, they not giving it to me. They're not giving it to me, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. After that, I pick what I like. If I want over and under, it's that easy. And then I just deposit. That's it. It can be found on both the App Store, if you got an iPhone App Store, if you got an Android, Google Play. But here's the catch, guys. If you sign up using the code ASU, you will get a 100% match for your initial deposit up to $100. I'll say that's the deal. Rashad, is that a deal?
All I ever ask is 100.
Look, y'all.
100.
Download Prospects now. If you love sports, if you love basketball, football, they got hockey, soccer, they got all that stuff. Download Prospects, please. ASU, y'all. ASU. Let's get it. And what is going on, guys? We are back with another episode of Birds in the Buckets. I am one half of the host, Malik Brown. I got my other co-host, Rashad. Rashad, how we living today, brother?
Man, just trying to get right. With middle of the season, I believe that was game 50. So,
yes, sir.
Just past the midway point, just trying to press through into the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you see the Hawks coming down the street. Look, after trading Cam, after just looks like the efforts better. Went on a 7-game winning streak. Of course, they are on the second night. After recording this, they just got done. Second game off of back-to-back. Played the Toronto Raptors. Trae Young did not play, had a right shoulder contusion, and they fell short 106 to 100. I watched the game from beginning to end. They stayed competitive throughout the whole game. I cannot lie. Big game from Kevin Huerter. Cannot specifically know off the top of my head how many, but I know he was the leading scorer. He had about 20 points. He was consistent throughout the whole game. 26 came out firing in the second quarter where they really needed it, and at the end of the halftime they were up 9 or 11 points. I think the third quarter was where it really kind of hurt the Hawks early. Raptors came out. Siakam hit big shots. Van Fleet was struggling, but he came on in the fourth quarter. But really, the man of the night, y'all thought Malik Monk was killing the Hawks yesterday. Gary Trent Jr. was going crazy tonight. He was hitting 3 after 3 after 3. It doesn't matter who was guarding him. Gary had him a night. Okay, he had, if I'm not mistaken, 17 points in the third quarter, including a buzzer beater 3 to bring the Raptors up 9 points going into the fourth quarter. Of course, the Hawks, as always try to find a way to fight back. Bogey came out down the stretch late with a couple threes to bring them into striking distance. But at the end, Van Fleet passed it to OG Anunoby in the corner for a 3. And it's kind of game from there. It was 104 to 100 after that. But valiant effort from the Hawks, man. Like without your star player, of course you got these other players starting to show up. Of course, Okongwu had some bright spots as always. Like I said, Kevin Huerter stepped up big. Bogey stepped up big. But yeah, those are really the bright spots. But that's really all I got for the game.
Gary Trent, as you put, he ended up with 31. Van Vliet. I think if you just look on paper, like I said, like or I didn't even say it, but the reason why I was letting Malik kind of drive on this game is because I missed it. I missed most of the game. I watched a little bit of it in the first half, excuse me, and then I just missed the rest. But uh, against a team that's above 500 like the Raptors at full strength, OG's playing, Pascal played, Barnes played, Gary Trent played, and Van Vliet. They had their entire starting five, and Precious and Boucher coming off the bench and stuff. Even though Boucher didn't do much coming off the bench tonight, points wise, but to have all of those guys and to only lose by 6 without your superstar, your all-star, your top 10 player in the league, who affects the entire offense kind of runs through him. It's pretty impressive. So you have to salute that. My question to you, Malik, I think the obvious kind of stat thing, and it's the thing that the Hawks fans were debating going back and forth with on Twitter, on the timeline. I know Ray Young even pitched in and stuff like that. And then on the spaces is John Collins. John Collins, as we discussed a bunch of times on this podcast, over $100 million extension this offseason. No Trey Young, 6 points and 7 rebounds. And so many people have kind of brought this up time and time again. We talked about it on this podcast before. Going into tonight, I believe it was Grant Shirley who shared the stat. He was averaging 22 points on 50% shooting without Trey in 3 games this season before tonight. So I just wanted to ask you, Malik, what happened with John Collins offensively?
Well, if you watch the games, like the Hawks always try to set John Collins up with a post up, and usually that post up is a mismatch. Just the way they run that play, it's always a mismatch. John gets the ball, turns around, does a little jab, looks at the defense, and he shoots the shot. As you can see with the Raptors, they really went small. They really went small this tonight. And I think if I'm not, yes, Siakam was the 5. So, and literally like all 5 of those guys on the court can defend. Like, I mean, if you want to, I don't think Gary Trent really switched on John, but I mean, as far as Scotty Barnes, Anunoby, and Siakam, like no matter what, like you're getting matched up with a good defender. So I mean he got up 11 shots. I know coach brought him in like kind of late in the fourth quarter. I guess he wanted to go with Gallo. Of course, I think that's really what's been happening like these past couple games. Honestly, like coach has been riding with Gallo for like most of the fourth or whatnot. And John will probably get in with maybe a couple of minutes left. But I mean, honestly, think that kind of just messes up rhythm and everything like that. But as far as just like initial offense, John just wasn't able to just get it going tonight. Like, I mean, like I said, they went small. He really wasn't able to attack any of the mismatches because there really wasn't a big mix match out there. So, but I mean, I guess you could say no excuse at the end of the day. Like, you getting paid to make buckets. So, you got to perform when the star player is out. So, I understand the notion from Hawks fans about Collins not stepping up when Trey isn't on the court for sure.
The thing that I did think was encouraging from it was the fact, like I said, like Ray for Trey Young's dad, he pitched in about it. And I believe it was Miss D was standing up for John as she always does on the timeline. And she was like, see, is that because they posted Collins highlights against the Lakers where John went kind of one-on-one, got the ball, he did his own thing. And they were like, wow, it's funny how people want to put this on Trey or Trey helped him do this. I get he's the face of the team, but come on, let's be real, guys. And his response was exactly with the 100 emoji. So it was nice seeing kind of he has support from Trey's camp and stuff like that and everything because once Chris Haynes came out with that trade, of that trade came to management and he wanted help and he understood that it was going to take John Collins to get a star player. It kind of looked like from the outside looking in, like Trey was kind of in favor of a John Collins trade if that's what it was going to take the team to the next level. So, you're kind of looking at the relationship. And then John goes on the radio and says, yeah, we're not best friends, but on the court, we're brothers because we've been there. So it kind of like,
Yeah.
maybe there was some smoke to the Trey John thing again or whatever. But it was really nice to see Trace Camp really say something publicly and kind of take John's back. That's kind of just a side note. But yeah, man, I mean, you said it. You said it like you said it at the end. I think there's a lot of components that go into it. If you watch the game, that's why I kind of leaned on you for it. Some of the other people was talking about it in the spaces on Twitter about John has to be put in positions to be able to best succeed offensively. And it sounds like a broken record, people saying that time and time again, but I think that's the case for any NBA player. So, if he isn't getting the ball in, specific situations, and I know, like, I feel like personally, if you're getting paid over 100 mil, like, you should find a way to get the ball and get buckets. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
um, I understand when people say, like, how is he supposed to score if he's not involved in the offense, if there's not a designated play for him, and you're just trying to, like, JC gets the ball, let's see what he could do with it, as opposed to draw something up from, excuse me, like you would any other kind of elite four in the league. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting dynamic. My question for you now, 7-game win streak the entire time John Collins was in, highly publicized trade requests, trade rumors, not trade requests, trade rumors. And people were like, well, hold John. That was the name of the episode last week, to trade or not to trade John Collins. And most fans were saying hold him and, kind of let the win streak ride out. Now that the win streak is over and John Collins had 6 points without Trey Young, are you back open to trading John Collins?
Nah. I mean, we kind of talked about this yesterday. Well, not yeah, yesterday. Like I was like, I mean, it's kind of hard. Like it's kind of hard to find some. I mean, unless it's Ben Simmons, of course. But we already seen how that's going. Like we didn't see like 3 different trades that came out, and the Hawks have said no to each of them because the Sixers want the Hawks to basically get Tobias Harris too, and Tobias Harris has probably one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now. So, I mean, as far as the Hawks trying to get a better player, okay, you can probably bring in Ben Simmons, but also, you have to factor in the Ben Simmons and Capella thing, and trying to find chemistry in the middle of the season. Like you play with these guys like for the entire last season. You play with these guys through the half of this season. At this point, you know each other well, people's spots and everything. Like when you bring somebody in the middle of the season like that, it's kind of like a lot of things change. So, and I remember Gallo, before all of this, he was talking about how the reason the Hawks aren't successful this year so far is because roles weren't defined. Seems like everybody just out there doing their own thing and whatnot. So now it kind of seems like, and I referenced the Cam Reddish trade again, and I know it's not the main reason why the Hawks fans be successful now, but it seems like since then roles have been defined. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Like it just looks like the play just looks better. So, I mean, I like John. I can't lie, I like John. And I mean, as far as him getting paid that much money, the reason he got paid that much money was because of Trey. So I feel like, I mean, you can feel some type of way because he's not performing the way he should be when Trey's not out there. But the reason he got the money was because Trey was out there. So I mean, so it's like I like John. I like what he brings to the court. Every year he's developed his game somewhere differently. I mean, he does have some games where it's like, dang, and it kind of seems like he has those type of games when Trey isn't playing, which is why Hawks fans get how they are. But I like him as long as Trey out there, man. He's good. He's good. So
Well, what I never understood about the John Collins dynamic is, like, he was like he played an entire season in the NBA without Trey, and he
Yeah.
was good. Like he was
Hmm.
good. I know like a lot of Hawks fans weren't Hawks fans until 2018. Like I get it, but like before then, 2017, 2018, when it was Malcolm Delaney and and John Collins in the lineup.
Boy, Isaiah
Uh,
Taylor and all that. Oh my
yeah, yeah,
God.
all those guys.
Tyler Dorsey.
Tyler Dorsey. Yeah, yeah, those are some throwback names for you. Alpha Kappa Alva, who was
Yes,
who who
yes,
who never actually played for the team. I think he might have played like
yes.
one summer league, but that was it. But yeah, man, like those guys, man, he was the best player on the team. Like as a rookie, 17-7, and he was a really good player. And I think a lot of uh, fans or just general NBA people might forget that just because of like kind of what he's doing now and stuff. But I mean, John has done it before for entire seasons and everything. That's what's so puzzling to me about like why is it the last couple of years it seems like he's been doing this. And someone called it Grant called it a lazy take, but Grant Shirley, who tweeted out the 22 point stats. But I don't think it's lazy because it feel like it holds true. Like if there was no weight to it, then people wouldn't be saying it. But I feel like it
Yeah,
holds true. The perception is it holds true. Clint Capella also had 6 points tonight. He's another one
yeah.
who the people claim that he's a law merchant from Trey. So I mean, I don't know, man. The stats just line up with it, and I know you want to talk about the averages of what they were doing when Trey was out with COVID, but I don't know, man. It holds true in my opinion, except for that game in Miami. I always point back to that one without Trey, where John had like 30+ points. But yeah,
Yeah, it just like looking at the games like tonight, like and it just goes to show how like dynamic Trey is and how he is able to just how his presence on the court just gets dudes open and just like spread the offense. Cause it's like, okay, when Trey is running the pick and roll with either John or Clint, something's gonna either there. So he's gonna get either Trey's gonna get doubled and he's gonna lob it up, or Trey's gonna just blow past the defender and lay the ball up or hit a floater. Like those are money plays. So now you got DeLon Wright, and I love DeLon. Like DeLon Wright, DeLon Wright is not Trey Young. He's not Trey Young, and he doesn't pose the kind of threat that Trey does in the pick and roll. So I saw DeLon Wright run about 10 pick and rolls tonight, and they went nowhere. Like they were just setting screens for him for just I don't know, like nothing really dynamic happened. I mean, I vividly remember one play. He set a pick, and the two defenders went to Clint, and he was open for a jump shot at the free throw line, and he nailed that. But other than that, like nothing really dynamic happened with those pick and rolls. But when you get trained to pick and roll, you already know what's going to happen. Either a double, he's going to drive, lob. Like it's so many options. So that's why Capella and John are so important when John is on the floor, and that's why they get so many easy buckets and whatnot. I mean, it's really that simple.
DeAndre Hunter, he had 17 points on the stat sheet, 5 rebounds, but a lot of people, or a couple of people at least, were texting me and asking me, you know, what's going on with Dre, and it seems like he's kind of a step slower or whatever recently in the past couple of days. And we talked about this also as well yesterday at the time we're recording this about it's probably that hit with Oubre. Ever since the hit from Oubre, he's just kind of looked different and stuff. How did Hunter look out there tonight to you?
He looked good to me. I mean, the only negative was, and I'm pretty sure it's what like people are talking about. Like his handle is real loose. So I remember like one time in the third quarter, he was dribbling and he just lost the ball. Like he just casually just lost the ball. Like his handle is real loose. It's not tight at all. And I don't think that's something that we expect DeAndre to do. Like we don't expect him to like dribble like that. I mean, like he can get side to side, but as far as like breaking down a defender with his dribble moves, like when I saw him trying to do that, I was like, bro, what are you doing? Because you not that's not your game. But yeah, I mean, he lost the ball like maybe 2 or 3 times just dribbling. And I know when we were listening to the game on the radio, they were talking about how he was missing his free throws. I think he made all his free throws tonight. And I mean, he got to his spots a couple of times. He hit some nice shots. But the only thing that really concerned me was the handle. Like, if I can, he had 3 turnovers. So, and I'm pretty sure those 3 turnovers was when he had the loose handle. So, just got to tighten that up. But other than that, he looked good to me tonight.
And 3 turnovers is a lot for his position on the wing.
Yeah,
It's not
right.
like a point guard handling the ball every single position. But okay, all right, cool. So now with Phoenix coming in and ending the week with Dallas, a couple of big games right there that Josh, shout out to Jay Chig, Josh Chigamira, who we had on the past episode. He was really concerned about that Dallas game in this kind of next stretch for the Hawks. I guess what do you think the Hawks really need to kind of focus on and lock down in the next week?
Um. Well, shoot. I mean, you going up against the top team in the Western Con. I mean, well, shoot, not even just the Western Conference in the entire league right now. Um. And then you got the Raptors again that next day, and what you got the Mavericks on Sunday. So that's a tough stretch in my opinion. It's a tough three game stretch. So I mean, if they just all it takes is effort. Like if you just play like you played tonight, play like you played when you won 7 games straight. You still this what you're probably still the second ranked offense in the league. Nobody can stop you on offense. So what's the main problem been this entire year? Defense. So if you just lock down defensively, um, continue to have great bench play, and Trae Young does what Trae Young does, you'll be good. I mean, I like the lineup that they have now with Herter starting and Bogey coming off the bench because Bogey looks good coming off the bench, in my opinion. And it low key look like he's still kind of getting started minutes. I think he played 31 minutes tonight. Um, so I mean he's still kind of getting started minutes just coming off the bench. So just having him off the bench with Gallo, Lou has looked better these past couple of games, which is a blessing because they needed something from out of Lou. Okongwu, we already know about Okongwu. Like I said, bench play, Trey being Trey, um, defense. If you can get those 3 things going, I think you can. I think you can try to run the table or come out of this weekend 2-1. But we got to see. We got to see. You never know what kind of Hawks team you're gonna get.
I think that's the perfect way to put it. And the thing I wanted to ask you, if there were 3 guards in the East who got reserves right now in the East, who would your 3 guards be?
I was just talking to my friend about this. I'm gonna go James. I'm gonna go James, Zach. I'm gonna go Fred. I'm gonna go Fred over
Wow.
Van Fleet.
Wow. So you have no LaMelo and no Garland.
And this is what I was arguing. When my friend was like LaMelo, I was, I was like, nah. I mean, I could see a way for him to get in, but I
I
mean,
think LaMelo's the odd man looking out. But I mean, I feel like what Garland's done is kind of undeniable.
yeah,
And then I don't know, like in the front court, I think you have to give at least one calf. One calf has to get it. Like Jared
I
Allen
think
has to get it,
Jared's gonna get in there.
or Mobley has to get it. Yeah, but there you go.
Yeah, I think Jared. As far as the front court, I'm pretty sure it'll be Jimmy, Tatum, and Allen. I don't know if it's another. If it's so,
Nah,
yeah.
that's it. That's
So
it.
it's those
Just
three.
three front court,
Yeah,
2 guards, and 2 wild cards. So you have I have in my backcourt, I have Harden and Levine, excuse me. Harden and Levine. And then my wild cards, I have 2 guards as well. I have Garland and Van Vliet. And then front court, like you said, yeah, you got to get someone in from Miami. So, but you'll say Jimmy, I guess. He's missed so much time. So even
Yeah,
Hero puts up a case to make it.
yeah,
So that's another guard. So it's crazy. But I guess you could say Jimmy just to have someone from the Heat on there. Uh, Tatum's got to make it as always, and then yeah, one of the Cleveland guys. So Jared Allen or Mobley. You kind of take your pick, I guess. You know, Allen gets the upper hand since he's the veteran.
yeah. I think and it's crazy because after I was talking about like Lamelo, Lamelo probably not making the All-Star game. My friend was like, they literally already leaked it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
There,
had
there
went,
there's a clip
yeah.
of him. Yeah, it says first time All Star.
So it was like, I mean, is he already in there? Like, so I mean, I don't see how you just leak that and it's not real. But I
I
don't
mean, they
know.
leaked Kyrie being on NBA 75.
Yeah, he ain't make it. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it just seemed like they just making them just in advance, like pre-writing.
Well, they had to do that with the starters because, they didn't announce it. They didn't know.
Yeah, yeah,
So the producers just probably had a bunch of kind of potential names lined up to
yeah.
play once they announced the names and stuff live on air. So I think that can also be a possibility of it that people aren't really looking at. But I don't know, man. Teams are going to be very interesting this year. By the way, we want to mention that we shout out Trey Young, All-Star starter named after we last recorded. Greatly deserved for Trey.
For
You
sure.
know, I think it's sometimes you can like not appreciate the stars or something like that because you feel like you talk about them so often. So that was just a nice little moment just to salute and give a little ode to Trey for what he does. Top 10 player in the league. Uh, could be top 5 if it weren't for the defensive side of the ball, but I'm sure he'll hear that and will want to work as twice as hard defensively now to be one of those top 5 players because he's been top 5 in the league in points and assists for the past umpteenth years. And he's only
Yeah.
been in the league for 4 years. So, yeah, that's all I have. Malik, do you have anything
Underdog.
as we oh, we gonna get out here on a positive note. Malik, do you have anything as we close out?
Nah. Just I think these next 3 games will really show us really like what the Hawks are about. I mean they kind of ran through some good teams through this 7-game winning streak. I won't lie. But this is it's getting down the stretch and like these games, like these kind of games really matter. So especially since they're like on the outside looking in, like they're 10th place, like 10th seed. They gotta win these type of games. So I think we'll really see what they're about these next 3 games.
And with February turning over the page into February, happy Black History Month to everybody. Man, it's 10 days left. 10 days left. February 10th is the trade deadline. So
Yes,
will
sir.
be very interesting to see what happens if the Hawks lose these next 3 games.
Whoo! We
I
gonna
know the
call Daryl
fans are
Morey
going to
up
want to see a
again.
trade. The fans are going to want to see it. The fans are going to. Good thing Travis Sling is not just a fan. So, but we'll have to see what happens, especially if the Hawks win the next couple of games. But we'll see. You guys take care. Malik, give the people your socials, all that, where they can find you.
Sorry, y'all. Y'all can find me as always at _Malik ATL on Twitter and Instagram.
RashadMilligan.com. You can follow me on Twitter at WNBA free agency starts now.
Shout out
Renee,
Lexi Brown.
shout out Lexi Brown. Renee, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. Do the right thing. Until next time.
And if they come out clean.